Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth.
What truth?
There is no spoon.
There is no spoon?
Then you'll see that it is not the spoon that bends, it is only yourself.
The Oracle will see you now.
Peace, healing, and light, family. Welcome back to another episode of Healing with Angelica's podcast, where we discuss all things healing. And if you are new to the show, welcome, beautiful souls. On today's episode, we have an amazing guest joining us today, my beautiful sister Shana Heath. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay, because listen, y'all know me. I be getting names wrong, okay? So just get me together, y'all. So thank you, sis. Shana Heath, as we'll be discussing today's topic, Beyond the Illusion, Discover Truth in a World of Lies. Shana, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
I am well. I am feeling blessed. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, me as well. I'm looking forward to this conversation. If you guys had a chance to check the clip in the beginning, I know the Matrix.
My favorite.
Tell it all, right? So I had to play that clip just so y'all can get more of a visual of what today's conversation will be about. Not about the Matrix, but just a little bit, in spite of that. So, Shana, if you don't mind letting our audience know just a little bit more about you.
Well, I'm Shana. I am aspiring to align with my divinity. I am on my journey to align with my divinity, and I am a person who is being guided by their passion in order to live out her purpose and fulfill the destiny that I see God is guiding me towards. So a little bit about me. I'm a mother of two. I got two teenage boys and that I'm raising. And last year, I've always been interested in starting an online business. And last year, I got into starting up divine alignment. And I did it because I wanted to find out a way to be myself, but still fulfill my purpose, because I was having so much job dissatisfaction. It didn't matter which job I had, I'd be unfulfilled. And so I was just like, it's time for you to start learning like who you are so you can fulfill your purpose, because I've always felt this, something is guiding me, pulling me towards this destiny of helping others. And so a year ago to discover my purpose, and the first thing that came my way was passion. And that was the first thought that came up. Well, to start this journey of fulfillment, look at, understand, discover your passion, because your passion will take you to your purpose. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start my passion. And so I started to follow things that resonated with me. And so as I started beginning this journey, I was doing like things that everybody else was doing. And, it just didn't feel like it was me. And so I went back and I said, I need to go within to figure out my truth so I can show up authentically. And so I can create products based on, who I am and this purpose that I have within me. And I went on this journey of self-discovery. And so I came across, the first thing I did was I started reading books on passion so I could understand and identify it, so I know to follow that path. Then I went on to More Milk, and I started going on Dr. Miles Monroe and consuming his teachings. And that really helped me because he said the 5 existential questions. He taught these 5 existential questions that will get you to the truth of who you are. And so I started asking myself these 5 existential questions, and I started getting revelation. Then I came across, Mr. 19 Keys at the top of the year, because I was like, I need more food. I need to know really more, because the society, it just living in this society just didn't seem right. I felt like something was off.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I need more understanding of this society. Like, I need more meat. Like, I'm getting a sense of who I am, but this reality, like, I need to learn how to change my reality. And so I came across Mr. 19 Keys at the top of the year. And when I came across his content, I was like, where is this brother getting this knowledge from?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was resonating with me, because, not too long ago, a few years ago, I went to college and I double majored as a political science, sociology, and minored in African history, because I wanted to get a picture of the world. I wanted to understand the world that I lived in, so that way I could teach it to others. But it was like the watered down version, of it. And so when I came across 19 Keys and consuming his content and desiring to get a better understanding of, his knowledge base, I had a dream.
Wow.
And in this dream, I was staring up at a black crescent moon. I wasn't doing anything else. I was just staring at a black crescent moon. I was staring in the sky. And when I woke up, I said, I've got to, that's something, because I've always paid attention to my dreams. And so I Googled it, and Nation of Islam popped up as one of the options. But I grew up in pretty much, white neighborhoods, white, culture. And so I never really knew about the Nation of Islam.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it just went right over my head. And when you Google something, it ends up all over your phone, and it ends up on your social media feeds. So that was on Instagram, and I saw, images on my feed that was popping up of, these women, black women with, these head wraps and, these dresses. And I saw, these brothers with these bow ties looking sharp. And I was like, what is this? Well, why are these black people? And I clicked it. Boom, Nation of Islam. It was Savior's Day of this year. People were posting about it. And so that's what, drew me in. And then I came across Brother Ben X. He talked about, if you interested, his knowledge was matching Key's knowledge base. So I was like, okay, what? And so he was like, if you're interested in joining, contact your local mosque. I contacted, went to a study group, and I was like, I found my people. This is where I'm supposed to be. And so I've been, on this journey, getting processed in, taking in this knowledge. And now I have my mission. My passion has led me to the point where now I know my mission, my purpose, the people that I want to serve, and the message that I have to give. So that's me.
Wow. Praise be to Allah, sis. I love that short little testimony. I said testimony. Yeah, that's right. Testimony. That was so beautiful. It made me think about just like when you said you found your people.
Mm-hmm.
I bear witness. Like,
yes.
It was, everything resonated with me. Everything,
yeah,
like there. I'm like,
ooh,
this is it.
Yeah,
this is where I need to be. Okay.
And then hearing the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, his speeches, I think everybody, I just want to thank everyone who is posting, because I'm 36 years old. I'm sorry, 37. I just had a birthday. I'm 37. And I went pretty much my whole life not knowing about the Nation of Islam or the teachings. But it resonated with me because the truth was already in me, and I was trying to seek that out. And so I say I manifested it into my reality. Even though it already existed, I manifested into my reality because I kept seeking. And so when I listened to Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I was like, I want to be that.
Okay.
That is, it changed me.
Oh my God. Gosh, I love it. I love it. Praise be to Allah. Woo. Listen, you guys know. Ain't nothing to play with, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with a lot of y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Listen, they wasn't playing the most honorable Elijah Muhammad with the way we dress. Like that
Yeah.
there says so much. Like,
Yes.
you know what caught my eye, and this is a blooper, y'all, because this ain't even about what we talk about today. But this is a blooper. I ain't gonna lie. Seeing the brothers in those suits and bow ties,
Looking sharp, boy.
looking sharp. The sisters in their garments. I'm like, what is it? Who are these
Beautiful,
people?
beautiful, beautiful, feminine,
Yeah.
feminine, soft, soft. I didn't know how masculine I was because just being
Ooh.
a Black woman in America, we're just naturally indoctrinated into this masculine role.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if you are a single mother, you are in a masculine role because you have to provide, you have to protect, you got to lead. Those are masculine, traits, and you have to do that for the entire family. And you got to work, and you got to follow your passion and purpose and self-improve, and what I'm saying, and nurture. You have all these roles. And so, you know, it's healing as a Black
Yeah.
woman to come across masculine brothers, and so we can heal back into our femininity. But yeah, they was looking sharp. That was like, what's going on here? And then when I went to my first meeting, I didn't know what to expect, but the brother opened my door. I was like, oh, okay.
Wait.
Just don't be getting that in the streets. I don't be getting that in the streets.
Okay, hey, listen. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I said, people do this? Where have I been all my life? Like, is this real? Like, you open my door.
Yes.
Hold on, wait. Is this a joke?
Right,
So,
right,
like,
right. It's so healing to the
yes,
masculine,
yes.
feminine woman, to the Black woman.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And like, honestly, all of this does tie into the conversation today. Me just thinking about just how much, mind you, we haven't got all the way in, but I'm gonna finish this and then we're gonna get started, y'all. We already 15 minutes in. I'm gonna get started. But I was thinking, like, it's just something about the fact of the matter is, we have not been operating in our
Mm-mm.
energy at all. And
At all.
I didn't know
At
that
all.
until
Mm-mm.
I joined the nation. I didn't
Mhm.
understand
You
how
felt
much.
someone right, but you didn't know.
Yeah, like it's just this masculine, this energy in which that is the illusion that we're going to talk about today as well. So we're going to get started on today's episode, y'all. Beyond the illusion, discover truth in a world of lies. And please, for my audience today, do not hesitate to put any questions you may have for our guest, Shana, in the comment section below. So, in a world full of deception, finding the truth is absolutely essential. Beyond the illusion, discover truth in a world of lies will challenge us to see past the falsehoods that shape our perception and uncover the truth to a deeper reality that lies beneath us.
Yeah.
So that brings me to my first question for you, Shana. You kind of gave us a little intro of how your healing journey started. I usually want to talk about that before we get into any questions in relation to the topic.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to know what started your healing journey in becoming, and we talked about this before the show, in becoming Trinity and your channel now, Divine Alignment, in which has aided you in your work of now being a truth trafficker, aka truth seeker.
Yes, yes. Well, my journey started 6 years ago, so it's a bit further back. My journey started when I had a mental health crisis 6 years ago. Um, I ended up in a mental health hospital for 5 days. I became suicidal for the third time in my life. And when I ended up in the mental health hospital, it really woke me up because I was pretty much out of my mind. I was emotionally unstable. I was mentally unstable. I was angry all the time. I was crying a lot. There was just this thing that there was just this inner void within me that was so deep, and I was trying to fill it with so many different things, and nothing that I was doing was working. And I have these beautiful sons, and I know that I want to love them on a higher frequency, but I couldn't because I was just so angry in my mind. I was just so emotionally unstable. I wasn't in my right state of mind. And so I had like a episode, and I ended up doing 5 days in a mental health hospital. And when I got out, I was diagnosed with PTSD, anxiety disorder, um, night terrors, depression. And I ended up going to see my psychiatrist, and it saved my life because it balanced me out. I was unbalanced. And I was extremely low on vitamin D as well. So that's important. That was an important factor too. And it saved my life. It balanced me out. And that's when I started to pay attention to my mental health. I was, starting to see a doctor. And I was put on so many medications. I was on medication for depression. I was having panic attacks throughout the day. I don't know if you ever had a panic attack or anxiety attack. Those ain't no joke.
No.
Those are no joke. I was having them like 2 times a day.
Ooh.
A day. Random throughout the day. And so I kept having these panic attacks. And on top of that, I was having night terrors. So I would go to sleep and wake up and just drenched in sweat, like not knowing where I am because my dreams were terrorizing me. So I was living in a perpetual state of fear. And so I'm just, I'm not feeling like myself because I'm on so many medications. And, my doctor was telling me, she's like, how was your anxiety? I was like, I'm up to 2 a day. And she told me, she gave me this pill for anxiety. And she said, you have to break it up into 4 parts. It's a small pill. And every anxiety attack you take you take 1 pill. And she said, be careful, because I was up to 2 pills, two of the parts, having 2 a day. And she's like, I understand you're having these attacks, but just know if you get to the point where you're taking a whole pill every day, you might not wake up. Wow. And that right there was like, okay, so either I'm going to end up ending my own life, or this medication that I'm on is going to take me out. And so that's when I said, I've got to learn about my mind. I've got to learn. I've got to get some knowledge. I got to get an understanding of my mind so I can learn how to control it, so I can learn about my emotions. I got to learn about the human body. And so I was diagnosed with PTSD because of how I was raised. I was raised in a toxic environment. My father was a drug addict. He did hard street drugs. And my mom, she had mental health problems too. And so we struggled a lot, being homeless and, living in scarcity. And I experienced a lot of PTSD. So that's what I was diagnosed with. And then I never had like positive, really reinforcement. And I didn't really have like healthy ways to deal with issues that you have. I didn't have any healthy coping mechanisms. So this like went my whole life, struggling with this. And so I said, let me order a book. Let me read something. And so I ordered a book, The Body Keeps the Score, to learn about trauma. And when I started to read, I started to learn about the human mind and how trauma is processed and stored in the body, and ways to, healthy coping mechanisms. And I was like, oh my goodness, this book is helping me educate. So now I know what to do, and if I have an anxiety attack, I know what to do. And I started to go on, YouTube and researching and looking up different videos about anxiety and trauma and past. And then my whole world opened up to self-improvement. And that's what I started to do. And I went on this journey of first understanding my mind and my body and how I'm connected to the earth, the sun, and the moon, because these are the things that are directly in front of me. So what is my relation to the earth and the sun and the moon and the stars? And so I started to get into esoteric knowledge, and I started to get into Hinduism, and started to get into mysticism. And I started to follow people like Sadhguru, and just taking myself on this journey of healing over the last 6 years, up until last year, where I was like, I'm ready to start this business of, I've gained so much knowledge and wisdom. Now I want to share my message with the world, because I want to go back and save an older version of myself, because that's what I'm doing. I'm saving someone else who may be suicidal, want to end their life, because they know that there's this thing within them, but they don't have that power to actualize it. They know they have greatness in them, but there's something holding them back, and they don't know what that is. And for me, it was learning the truth of who you are in the world around you. So once those things unveiled for me, now I could show up in this way with my passion, my mission, and my purpose.
Whew. Wow, that was a heavy but beautiful testimony that you just spoke on, and I can only imagine. I definitely can bear witness to anxiety and the period of depression, and having all these things they say is wrong with you, right? And go to the doctor, we go to these hospitals or whatever, and they force these drugs on us and say this is what's going to help, but it wasn't until they basically gave you an option, continue to take drugs, figure out how to fix your mind. And I think that is what the issue is. It's the fact of the matter is that because we don't know who we are, we don't know how our body operates.
No.
And we have to have a doctor or someone tell us how our body operates, which keeps us in a state of illusion and hides us from the truth of ourselves.
Exactly.
So that makes me go back and think about just something real quick. It makes me go back and think of the fact of the matter is, it wasn't until I had episodes and the things that I was going through during my pregnancy and after my pregnancy of anxiety, because they said I suffer from PTSD from losing a child. I lost my son. I had a stillborn, and when I got pregnant again, I guess me having that trauma from that and didn't heal from affected that a lot. But it was heavy. But it wasn't until I had my son, and I had to realize, like, I had to figure out what's wrong with me, because I kept going to this hospital. I kept going, and they're like, you're going to have a heart attack if you don't take these medicines. But in my mind, I'm like, I know something is wrong, but I don't know what it is. And y'all stuffing me with these pills. And so it took me on that journey of self-discovery.
Yes.
So
yes, it's like that rock bottom moment, that crisis that shook your life. Like something got to get your attention.
And that got my attention, because I have a son. I have a newborn, and it was to the point where I was having anxiety every day. I was like, Mom, take me to the hospital. Take me to the hospital. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Like, and just having that feeling after having my son was just even more traumatizing. But that takes me to my next question for you. Like, with your experience of what you've been through and what you went through, why is it so imperative that we as a people discover the truth of ourselves in this time?
It's important that we discover it in this time because of the society that we live in. This society is not on the right path. This society, we have billions of people that are suffering with mental health problems. We have kids as young as 11 years old that are becoming suicidal and taking their own lives. There are communities that we experience, that we live in, Black communities, we see addicts, prostitutes, people are not living the life that God has ordained or intended for them to live, and it's causing them to have all this mental health. We're living in a society that has a mental health problem. We're living in a society where we are experiencing oppression, suppression, depression. We're living in a society that is capitalistic, which is profiting off of human life. So they're profiting off of your ignorance and your sickness. And so, that's why we see so many disparities. That's why we're at the point where we can't even eat the food from the grocery store. I mean, you go to the grocery store and the produce section, you got to well, is this organic? I can't just get regular produce off the shelf. You got to make sure it says organic on it, because even it's genetically modified. You know what I'm saying? We have so many health disparities. This is a time where it is impaired, and with social media, we have our youth that are being psychologically um uh uh I don't want to say murdered, but psychologically oppressed, because they're comparing themselves to other people's highlights. And so they're developing mental health issues, trying to, fit into an unrealistic standard of beauty, so we're having a deficit of really the truth of who we are. We can't show up as ourselves. We feel as though we got to be someone else. And it's causing all this mental health problems. And that's why we're addicts. That's why we're trying to, people are getting addicted to porn and having all these issues. It's reflecting because people don't know who they are. The educational system is built to track us down a path that is meant to have us work for somebody else, never really knowing the truth of who we are and how our mind works. That's why the educational system is failing. When you get out of high school, you don't know how your mind operates. You don't know how it functions. You don't understand psychology. You don't understand that we're electrical beings. We don't understand esoteric knowledge. You're not taught, because if you know that, then you understand the power that you have and you go do for self. And so you get freed from that matrix. You get freed from the illusion. And so it's systematically done. So at this time, it is imperative that we know who we are. And then we have a generation that is coming up where all they see is over-sexualized Black women.
Talk about it.
All we see is over-sexualized Black women. They're at the political conventions now. Okay, I didn't know since when did
Lord, listen.
when did the Black culture become represented in being over-sexualized? Our bodies, chest out, booty out. You know what I'm saying? As political representatives. And so it's this is not who we are, and we need to get back to the truth so we can have that courage and disconnect from society, so we can fulfill our purpose and stand up and speak, because the younger generation needs to see something different. They need to see a woman on a right path, not the wrong path, not the left path, not going left. We're more than just shaking it on TV. We're more than that. And so, it's imperative that we understand the truth of who we are in the society that we live around us. It's imperative we get back to Islam, because Islam rids the Black man and Black woman of fear. It is imperative that we get back to that, because we have a generation that is coming up. And in order for us to enter into this healing, collective wholeness, not individual, but collective, we have to start living it. We have to wake up.
I love it. I love it. Praise be to Allah. And if you are enjoying this episode just as well as I am already, y'all, please show your support by texting the word donate to 937-313-2466. And if you all are enjoying all of the broadcasts here on CTGB Network, show your support as well. Information to donate will be shown on the screen below. I love you all. Now let's get back to today's episode, Beyond the Illusion. Discover truth in a world of lies with Shana Heath. So, sis, I'm so glad that you brought that up. I think that is something imperative that we all should keep in mind, is that at the end of the day, honestly, the children are our future.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's only me, but there's I think we know this though, but there's a huge shift going on right now, a big big shift right now, big paradigm shift to where it's time for something new. It's time for something
Yes.
different.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm even feeling that in my personal life.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that in the world. It's time for something new and different. So we
Mhm.
can't operate off the old system
Mhm.
anymore. And that old
Mm-mm.
system is that system of lies,
Mhm.
system of deceit, the
Mhm.
systems of injustice, you know. So I think within all of my conversations that I done ever had with anyone, I always go back to the fact of the matter, how important it is that one obtain the knowledge of self. So I just want you to, if you don't mind, just discussing like within your journey, how important it is that one obtain the knowledge of self for healing and salvation.
Yes. Yes. This is major because we are energetic beings. We are spiritual beings. And so we long to connect with some sort of spirituality. And growing up, I wasn't really into church. My mom didn't really take us to church, but just being an adult and being a single mom, like I needed to depend on something higher to help me, raise the children on my own. And so I've always had this inkling towards this higher power, this spirituality. What is it? And so I got into Christianity, but Christianity, there's some principles in there. There's some spiritual principles that helped me, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And so I was looking for something that had more meat and potatoes, looking for something that was really more personal to me because I felt as though Christianity was putting me in a box and I felt like a square.
Mm.
And so it wasn't enough, but I was seeking this knowledge. I was like, what is it? Like, who am I? And so the knowledge that really helped is understanding esoteric knowledge. So when I came across esoteric knowledge, which is understanding that the reason why this thing is in me, I'm seeking it, is because I'm an energetic being.
Mm.
And so understanding that God is not something outside of me. God is within me. I
Mm.
am God. I am a second self of God. I'm a female is a second form of self when it comes to God. I'm a feminine divine being. And so understanding this esoteric knowledge helped me understand, oh, so now I understand like why I am the way I am. I'm understanding my thoughts, my mind, how it's being processed. So then started to read about psychology. And so understanding that since we are energetic beings, we see our reality based on the light that is projected into our eyes, and then it gets transformed into thoughts, and thoughts gets transformed into chemicals gets transformed into hormones, and then hormones are the things that control our emotions, and then our emotions control our actions, and then that is how we do and create our reality.
Mm.
Because I wanted to escape my reality. My reality that I was seeing was so detrimental that I was trying to take my own life. I I felt like a slave. I felt enchained. I felt like there's something in me. I want to be free. I want to express myself, but I can't.
Mm.
I don't know how to change my reality. I don't like my reality. And so understanding the truth of who I am, that understanding energy, understanding frequency, understanding sound, understanding my connection to the sun, the moon, and the stars, understanding psychology, understanding emotions has helped me heal because I was emotionally unstable. I was so angry. I was very, very angry because it was a trait that I saw my mom and my dad exhibited. So I was seeing that I was ending up like my mom, and I kept, choosing partners that were resemble my father. And I realized that if I don't change my reality, it's going to pass on to my children. And this generational cycle is going to keep going. And so it's really about reading. So reading what resonates with you. Follow the things that resonate with you, because God made us with love, in love, and out of love. And so when you follow the things that you love, that resonate with you, when you follow your heart, you start to pick up books that, oh, this makes sense. And then you end up processing it. And then you take on that mind, and then you process it, and it's like you're getting fed, and you acquire new knowledge and wisdom. And so it was a constantly reading, constantly gaining that knowledge of self, of who I am, being an energetic being, and that biggest shift of me being God. So I'm not waiting for someone else to come save me. I save myself. And I save myself through acquiring knowledge. I save myself by following the love, following passion, because that is what God created me to be. And so I become my own savior. That was the biggest shift, is learning the truth that I am God. I have the power within me to change my reality and create my own world.
I love how you broke that down, and just acknowledging the fact that the kingdom of heaven is within you.
Yes.
God is within you. And I think because of the way society has placed these false perceptions on us of who they want us to be, or who we should be, we lost identity of who we truly are.
Yes, that is exactly what happened. And I call that as that's imposter syndrome. It's like you're driving a car, or this is what I ask people. I was like, you ever had a dream where you was driving a car? Well, matter of fact, you was in a car and somebody else was driving it, and you in the back seat, and you got no control, and they driving crazy. I used to have those dreams. I used to have dreams where I'm fighting to get in the driver's seat, and somebody in the driver's seat is beating me. My foot just can't land. Like, I can't. So the dreams reflect my outer world.
Wow.
I don't have control.
Ooh.
Who is in the front seat of that car driving? Who is driving? And it is the false reality, this artificial reality that we are indoctrinated into. And it's a system of go to school, get a degree, get a job, work for somebody else until you die. And that system no longer serves us anymore, because cosmically, we're entering into the age of Aquarius, and this is the time for spiritual enlightenment, spiritual awakening. So as above, so below. So more of us are being energized. We're being electrified from within, and this truth is sprouting out. And, technology, with technology, we are able to have the whole world in the palm of our hands. We have access to it. So we can consume the information more easily, more readily. So collectively, we're right where we're supposed to be with this shift. But that's really what it is. It's an artificial life that we were indoctrinated into, especially being a Black person in America, being forced into a position of second-class citizenship and servitude. We've got to break free from that white supremacy mindset in order for us to be unplugged and get that veil removed from our eyes. But in order to do that, you have to learn about that. And a lot of people don't want to do it. They don't want to know the truth because it's too ugly. I told God, I was like, show me the truth. I don't care what it looks like. I want to see the beauty. I want to see the ugly. I want to see the horrendous. I want to see this. I want to see it all. Because if I know the truth, I can change my reality.
And if y'all, like I said, I'm gonna probably play the clip again before the end of the show. What I just said, what I just had what's his name? Neo, yeah, in a Matrix. It's all in the mind.
Yes.
And I'm just so grateful for Islam and the Nation of Islam for, being able to be exposed to this great truth. Because there's so many of our people that want to keep the veil on, that don't want to discover the truth because of the process of having to go through that journey of self-discovery, really getting to know who you are, really, peeling off them layers. It ain't.
I mean, but the thing is that the truth be setting you free though, because when you know the truth, you're forever changed. Now that I know the truth of the world, that we live in a white supremacy society and the economic structure that is built off is capitalism. In order for them to have high profits in a short amount of time, they need to capitalize off of human bodies, and Black people are the people that were chosen to be in this position of servitude, and they capitalize off of our Black dollars even today. Once I started to learn that, everything shifted in me. I was like, oh, hold up.
Okay.
I'm not subscribing to this. Heck no. And, keeping us as our leaders, they have, entertainers, that cater to our lower selves, hypersexualized and violent and having those types of, music and having those types of entertainers being shown as our examples and leaders of greatness. I mean, that perpetuates you being in this state of slumber, because you then think that that's all there is to go after, but that is not true.
Absolutely. And it's not. And it also just makes me think about just how much God, He wants us to be at peace. He wants us to be happy. He wants that for us. So once you're able to remove that veil and be able to, sort out the truth, you're able to really deal with life better. I'm pretty sure,
Yes.
when you went through your situation and you started searching for truth, you started searching for knowledge.
Yes.
Now, if this would, praying you would never have those episodes again, but just knowing that you went and found the knowledge and now you know how to better deal with it. Because I don't believe in, this is just for me, just in life in general. Like, I don't believe that, depending on the situation, that some things are go away, because at the end of the day, struggle is ordained, right?
Yep,
It's gonna be another journey in life where struggle is gonna happen. But because you have knowledge, because found Islam, Nation of Islam, that done equipped us for this life, you're now able to go on in life knowing that, listen, I know what to do. I know how to handle.
Yes.
And that's where anxiety and depression, and you see
Yes.
people that have these mental issues because they're lost. They don't know what to do. They don't have any guide, and they keep looking at these false perspectives of people that can help them, but no one can help you but God, baby.
Yes, the God within. And God is there waiting for you to walk down this path of love, because this other path that we're walking down is artificial. And so I also appreciate the Nation of Islam, which is why I went ahead and processed and joined, because I look at it like this. If the world was burning tomorrow and you need to know what to do, where are you going? Where are Black people to go? Like, where are we to go to figure out what to do, to understand the world so you can know how to navigate through it? You ain't gonna know. And so, but the Nation of Islam packaged up the knowledge of the world. See, they packaged the knowledge. So if I were to go down this path of self-discovery, of knowing the truth of the world, you got all kinds of different parts of knowledges out there. You can go, mysticism, Buddhism, you can go, Marcus Garvey. You got so many different pieces of knowledge that's all over, scattered all over our history, all over. But the Nation of Islam collectively packaged up the truth and specialized it according to the Black man and Black woman experience in America. And so that's why I was like, this is what I needed, because it's healing me so I can know how to maneuver in this world. And so if it were to burn, I know the type of choices to make. I know the right choices, and it's healing because I have peace now. So now that older version in me that's nervous, like, oh, what if this, what if that happens? I can go back to her with the knowledge that I have now and say, hey, now that I know what I know now, we know how to pivot. We know how to move. So you can let go of the anxiety, let go of the fear. I love you. I'm not gonna let anything bad happen to you, because I got you. I got you. I know what to do. I got knowledge now. We didn't have knowledge before. That's why you're afraid, and that's why you're hurt. You got these walls built up around you, but it's okay. I got the knowledge. I know what to do. So I go back to the younger version of myself that's nervous in those times, that's scared. And I hold her, and now I can take her hand and we can dream and we can make proper and better decisions because we got knowledge, knowledge of the truth of the world, knowledge of self. God is me. I am God. And I know how to navigate to my God. Because it's one thing to know who you are, but it's another thing, how do you navigate towards that to connect with God? How do you do that? How do you become the highest and best version of yourself?
Listen, praise be to our sister Faith. When I say this sister's energy, when she came to my event and she spoke for the first time, I said, where did you come from, girl? Like, she spoke so, it was just so profound. I'm like, wow, you know,
All praise be to Allah.
the way that she, you know, talks about just life and just us, you know, tapping back into ourselves and being able. I love how you basically you're going back and you're doing these self-talks, and those talks, you're healing younger version of you that's been through that trauma, through that hurt, through that pain. And that is why it's so important and it's so imperative that even us as adults, even young children, to know how important it is to really just start tapping into yourself enough to be able to open up that door of accepting what has happened to you. And then also being able to continue on this journey, but nurture that person that you were so you can continue to grow. So I'm seeing you grow just off of you just nurturing that younger version of you, because a lot of the times I truly believe a lot of us are still operating in that version of ourselves.
We're
that
stuck.
younger version. Stuck. Stuck.
And they're frustrated. And that's that we're stuck, we're frustrated, and that's that cognitive dissonance that we experience, which is that void. It's like we're fighting ourselves because we know that there's another path for us to take, that there's something in us to do and to be and to live, but we can't do that because our past version of ourselves is still hurt, and we got to heal that. And that's that knowledge of self, of understanding that we are multidimensional beings. So when you understand knowledge of self, you start to learn about universal law, universal divine spiritual laws. You understand about consciousness. Knowledge of self is understanding consciousness, is understanding the mind, because we are living in the mind of God. And so when you understand that we live on different planes, we live in a mental plane, a spiritual plane, and a physical plane. When you understand that the mental plane is the cause and the physical plane is the effect, this reflects our reality. When you understand that we are multidimensional beings, meaning we live in our past, our present, and our future all at the same time. See, we're going crazy because we don't know what's all these thoughts. Why am I still being triggered? Why am I, you know what I mean? You don't know how trauma is stored in the body. You don't know that you're also your past at the same time. You can go back, and that's why you're being triggered. It's because there are things in your past that has hurt you. And it's okay. We've, you know, something has hurt you. You've been, you know, discouraged. You've been put down. You were probably bullied. It's all right. The goal is to get knowledge. Well, you know what? Now that I know what I know now, I'll never take on someone else's poison. I won't do that no more. I can see what that is. I know that hurt people project hurt. Hurt people hurt others. And so when I recognize that a characteristic in somebody, because I understand the mind, I understand how it works, I understand ego, I understand characteristics, how it's developed, I understand that, I understand psychology. Now I can point you out and say, you know what? You're a hurt individual. That's why your language is that way. That's why you speak like that. I'm not going to take that on. I'm not going to take on your opinions of me. I could peep that. But now the younger version of myself that was hurt when she was a kid because somebody hurt her, she was bullied, that's still in me. That if she could calm down and she's like, all right, I'll let that go. And you make peace with it. You make peace with your past. Knowledge gives you wisdom, the wisdom to go back to your older self and to teach her what she didn't know at the time. And then that knowledge brings her peace. And that peace brings her healing. Now you're healed as a whole, so you can move forward into becoming your best and highest self.
Drop the mic.
This is what I be teaching. Like I'm like, and this is why, you know, I'm so grateful for God to show me and enlighten me in this way, because I desire to truly teach this.
Yeah.
Because this is the information that our youth needs. You know, a lot of us are hurt and we don't understand the science behind healing.
Whew, the science behind healing.
Yeah.
And you know, as you were talking, listen, you guys, I always take notes, and this show has really been freestyle. Like I'm just listening to her, and a lot is putting questions in my mind to ask her. But as you were talking, it just something came up in my mind, is that knowledge of self is a key to breaking generational curse and healing. You know, when you're able to obtain a knowledge of self, you're able to understand who you are. You're able to understand the history.
Yes.
Things that we've been through.
Yes.
Because you know that and you understand that, you now walk into this world humble enough to understand that a lot of our people are just hurt. A lot of people are operating in this spirit of trauma and pain. Sometimes they may not know how to deflect it on. Well, most of the time they do deflect it on, but you don't take offense to that, because you know they're just victims. They're victim in this world of lies. They're victim in this world of illusion. So it's up to people like me. It's up to people like my sister Shana. It's up to people, all y'all that's in my comments right now. Everyone that's watching. It's up to us to reveal the truth, no matter what.
Yes.
But then revealing the truth, we're able to save our people, right?
Yes. And it truly starts with self. And you know, to veggie back off of you, healing breaks generational cycles, and that is exactly true. Because when you understand the science behind healing, well, what is that process? Because people say, you know, we need to heal, but what is that process? What do we do? And so first understand that you're a three-dimensional being. We have our past, our present, our future. And so I am healing generational cycles, because when I look at my parents' relationship, my father is alcoholic. He did street drugs. He was an addict. My mom emotionally, and I love my parents. They did the best they could with me. I'm alive. Hey, they did their job. You know what I'm saying? They did their best to support me. I'm not putting them down. I love my parents. In fact, I talk to them all the time. You know, I help them out any way I can. I love them. But I'm at peace. I'm not angry with how I was raised, because I've made peace with it, because I understand the science of mating. I understand that I understand slavery, and I understand how this type of characteristic and lifestyle was created, and I understand how we perpetuate that. I get that. And so I look at my parents and I'm like, I don't want to be like them, right? Sometimes we see our parents and they may not be the great examples that we want to mimic, but I realized I was becoming my mother, like, and her partners. And then I kept choosing men that resemble characteristics of my father, and I couldn't understand why. Why do I keep attracting these types of men? And I have, going on my second separation, you know what I mean? So I keep having these big breakups, and, I'm like, what is it about me? Because I'll have, like, what is it? And so with that knowledge of understanding about generational cycles and understanding the science and mating and eugenics and genes and genetic code and how genes and traits are passed down, by understanding that type of knowledge, I can go back and say, you know what, mom and dad, I still love you guys. I make peace with whatever, I didn't have or what I did experience, the lack of whatever it is. I love you, and I'm okay. Now I'm over here ending a relationship. So I'm currently transitioning out of a relationship because now that I have the truth of who I am, now that I've been able to heal myself, naturally, people that are not on this journey with me fall off.
Mm.
So naturally, people are being let go. And it's okay. I'm okay. I'm at peace with it. Because I understand the God within me and I understand the spiritual journey. I know the science behind it. It's part of it. It's part of the life I am to live. It's part of that sacrifice that is needed in order for me to be this person and show up in this way. And so it's healing, because now that I know what I know now, and I've been exposed to something different, I don't fear about becoming that, because now I'm like, hey, if a brother ain't Muslim, I ain't doing it.
There you go.
If he ain't a Muslim brother, in fact, I'm gonna stick with the nation, be part of the nation and have that foundation, because not all Muslim brothers are the same.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I understand now, having the same knowledge base. I understand now. So it's healing, So I'm not worried about, okay, what if I get into another relationship and I do it again? No, I ain't gonna do it again, because I know something different. I know something new now.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you talked about that. And we have hit our hour mark. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to do a part 2, y'all. Y'all want a part 2? Y'all put it in the comment box. Say part 2 now. Okay, part 2 right now.
Oh my goodness, an hour. I was prepared for 2.
This has been such a great dialogue.
Yes.
Like, as you were speaking, it made me think about just my journey and how I had to really go back and do some self-analysis and self-examination. Because I'm gonna be real with y'all. Since the time I was 14 years old to the time I was 25, I've been in abusive relationships. Physically. Like, gun pointed at my head, all types of with toxic.
I had that experience too.
Yeah, I'm being transparent, y'all. For real. But it wasn't until I really had to think, like, why? I said, why do I keep choosing the same men? What's going on with me now? And this is what I think that some of us don't want to do. We don't want to take accountability. Accountability.
You hit it right on the head.
Look at yourself now and be like, what am I doing wrong? What's going on? But it wasn't until I had to go back and I had to think about all my relationships. And you know what's crazy, Shana? I went back in all my relationships and I realized that, wow, I was basically dealing with the same men that had the same characteristics as my father that I barely had a relationship with.
Wow.
I'm now building my relationship up with my father. Unfortunately, he's incarcerated right now. But as I'm getting to know him,
that's deep.
I'm like, you act like one of them dudes I used to deal with. Like, it's crazy like that. So I'm seeing it, and then it's like, okay. And then I notice the patterns. Understand that I believe history repeats itself.
Yes.
And when you are able to spot the patterns in your life, and really see it for what it is, now you can be able to change the patterns, right?
Yes.
I knew
Yes.
from that point, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
something has to change.
Mm-hmm.
Something has to change. And I know one thing, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna end that off here. Us as women, we really, really, it wasn't until I chose myself.
Come
Wasn't
on.
until I said, listen, I will not settle for this. I will not settle for that. But within that, I also had to heal myself. I also had to go back and do the work,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So things wouldn't trigger me no more. Or even if they did, I knew how to handle it, right?
Yes.
You
Yes.
know?
Yes.
So
Exactly.
it really, really, like, you really touched me with that, because it was the fact of the matter is, and this is, and I advise everybody to do this, like, just sit and think. And what I'm gonna do is, before we end the show, you guys, y'all stay on, don't leave. I'm gonna play a clip with my sister, and she talked about, you basically just discussed the power of just manifestation, and just how you see yourself, and how important it is that we do see ourselves, as this higher and better version. And that's where I
Mm-hmm.
was aiming, once
Yes.
seeing the defects of those relationships and what was going on with me.
Mm-hmm.
I was hurt. I
Mm.
realized that I still had issues going on when I still had issues going on when it came to, because I literally had to go down the line, Shane. I had to
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
about what happened, and
Yes. Yes. You
sometimes you
got
gotta do
to.
that. I
Mm-hmm.
had to go
Mm-hmm.
down and think about what happened in every relationship that
Yes.
made me this way, and it went back.
Yes.
Guess what it went back to? It went back to my dad. It went
That's
back
the
to a
root.
situation with my dad when he came back in my life and he left. Back
Ooh.
in my life and he left. And ever since he did that, that's when all those toxic relationships started. So I did not
Mm.
know that subconsciously
Mm-hmm.
I was going off of the impact of my father when he came back in my life with
Wow.
all these promises and left
Wow.
in. So I never took relationships serious from that point.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
How our parents impact us, how our environments, we take on traits of our environments. And that's why so many, Black people are oppressed, because we're living in environments and we take on the traits that, our environment is showing us. And that's why, studying the science of, genetics, understanding how traits and characteristics are passed down, and understanding how our parents influence us. They are our first influence. But that right there, that answers it.
That
That
was
answered it
it.
right there. Like, it's my father. And that was for me too, my father. It's my dad. And no shade, it's all love, all love, all
Yep.
love, all love. But now that I know that, for me, it was, I had to be introduced to something different.
Yep.
Like, I would watch relationship shows and understand, we are hurt young girls with daddy issues. I get that. I had the knowledge, but something else I needed to solidify that for me was being exposed to something different.
Mm.
And I'm grateful for the job that I work at, because I get to be around good dads, good
Mm-hmm.
fathers that are providers, that are protectors, And so then, looking at that and being around that, I was like, oh, so that's what an example of a good man is. 'Cause I never had that. I didn't really have that example. And I love my dad. You probably, watching. I sent him the link. I love him. But I had this conversation with him too. I was like, Dad, like, I'm looking for a different kind of man. I
Ain't
understand
no
that.
shade. No shade in
No
this.
shade. You know what I'm saying? I love you. And he understands. He's like, I know, I know. I get it. I know myself and my, the shortcomings that I've had. I get it. And he's like, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for striving for more and going after that and being brave to do it. So we made our peace with it. But that's that thing. So when I came across the Nation of Islam and I started to see Black men that respect women,
Woo!
I was like, I got it. And so by seeing that, by experiencing that, it solidified what I knew. So it's very healing.
Drop the mic. When you said that, listen, at the end of the day, it makes me think about how we just have to be, we got to strive to be that clean glass, be that example, because all that anyone wants to say, I think, because like I said before, because we've been in this false perspective, this false illusion of what we think things should be. It's getting played out.
Yeah.
It's getting played out.
We unsubscribed and we don't want that no more.
I'm not putting no shade, okay, but the ratchetness, the over sexualized, the world is getting played out. It's time for something new.
I want to speak to an intellectual sister, not a sister that I have a conversation with. All she knows is what time it is and the sky's blue. That's not enough. I want to be mentally stimulated. I want to speak to a sister like Sister Angelica. You know what I'm saying? I want to have conversations like this. I don't want to talk about who bad on IG. How is that going to help me if the world burned down? That can't help me. Okay, that can't help me advance in life, being a baddie. No.
You know what I was thinking about? I said, listen. This is a blooper, but even messing around, you talk, sometimes talking to some sister, and they get you singing some Sexy Red and some,
come on, now I'm gonna best in my life.
Yeah, Gorilla, whatever her name, Gorilla Zoo. I'm sorry, y'all, don't play me. I'm sorry, but it's like, oh Lord, I can't do it. I need to be around my righteous sisters, Lord.
Oh my God. And you know what? I'm gonna keep it real. We really gotta disconnect from that, because that music, that music be pulling you in, and you gotta catch yourself like, nah, because it really messes with your state of being, your state of mind. You know what I'm saying? So
it says, if you know, you know. I'm over here like, okay, it's 7 p.m. Friday. Hold on, wait a minute, girl. No.
I'm like, wait, hold up.
You need to be going to
I ain't got no nigga and ain't got me. I'm like, hold up. First of all, we don't project that. We don't project that. Let's keep that. You know what I'm saying? Our words carry a frequency. So yes. If you know, you know.
Yes. And this is me being transparent. It's us just trying to keep that balance, us keeping that balance, and us constantly striving to be righteous in a world that's other than that. Keeping that balance and knowing that, hey, I can't keep listening to this. What we listen to, what we look at, what we eat, anything.
We become it.
You become it. You start feeding on it. So always maintaining your righteousness and your virtue. Strive to it all times. I salute all the sisters, because I'm telling you, the world is
exactly. And that's why we need to commune and come together. And that's why I love the Nation of Islam, because we all striving for righteousness.
Exactly. And I salute everyone. Praise be to Allah. Oh my gosh, Sister Shana, when I say this has been a great conversation, I'm about to start. Listen, y'all, I'm about to start having we about to start having these couch conversations. I feel like
we're so close. You're absolutely. I'm
turn on the camera. We're gonna sit on the couch and talk that Islam. Okay, let's talk about Islam. Let me keep it real with y'all.
Yes, exactly. And that's what we need, is that realness, because let's keep it real. The struggle is real. And the battle is all the time. It's consistent. It's all the time. So people need to see what that looks like, so they can relate to it. It makes us more relatable, and so somebody else can see, oh yeah, I do the same thing. Yeah. It ain't just me. Nah, it ain't just you.
Listen, at the end of the day,
you ain't alone.
We are striving Muslims. I'm striving each and every day.
Yes.
Literally, each and every day. And, by the grace of Allah, we've been open to this very profound truth. However, we share the same struggles with those who haven't even found the truth yet. I've been through that. Like I hate, So praise be to Allah. Oh my God, this has been such a fun show. Like I said, we probably gonna have to come back and do a part 2. But before we end the show, I want to play this clip.
Yes.
And I wanted you to just dialogue just a tad bit just about this clip. So, all right, you guys, give me a moment.
So, what do I do to connect with my higher power? First thing that I do is first I learn what my higher power is. I learned that I am my higher power. I'm a spiritual being. I'm multidimensional. I am my future, my present, and my past at the same time. So, in order to connect with that, I do prayers. Praying, who I'm praying to is my future self guiding me. So I pray for guidance. I also meditate. Meditation gives me visions. I vision who my higher power is, what she looks like, what she's wearing, what is she doing, what work is she doing, how much does she have? Because my higher power is my future self. Because the only voice that I hear in my mind is my own voice. I also meditate. Meditating allows me to enhance my visions. I also follow my passions. I follow my heart. To connect with my higher power, it's going to take me to feel it. So I follow what I love to do. I follow what my interests are. I follow what gives me flow state that allows me to have these ideas because my passion connects me with my higher power. I also follow what brings me joy. So following the heart is very important to connect with your higher power. And I also seek knowledge. Knowledge is so important to connect with your higher power because without understanding of who you are, you're not going to understand that you are the God.
You like that? I know you didn't get a chance to see that clip. Praise be to Allah. Yes, my brother got you together. Yes, I have to send you that
Wow.
clip. Yes,
Thank you.
It's more bigger than that, but I had to make sure it adjusted to the screen so it
You
can be
did wonderful. Thank you.
so. Wow, that was such a beautiful clip, and I wanted to play it. And before we end the show, this will be my last question. I kind of wanted to talk about the power in prayer and meditation. And you spoke on knowledge, which we talked about during the show. But I just want to talk about the importance and the power of prayer and meditation while, being in this world of illusion. Like, how powerful, is that in this time?
Oh, prayer is essential. Prayer is essential. We're spiritual beings, and we cannot just base our reality and our decisions based off what we see. We cannot. That's not how manifestation works. That's how the society teaches us. Well, if you can see it, then it's real. Prove it. Like base your decisions and everything off what you can see, not off the unknown.
Mm.
It is imperative that we pray because it is out of the triple darkness that God exists. Prayer, when you pray the stance of a Muslim prayer, you enter into a state of darkness. You get down on your knees. You bow your head. Why do you bow your head? Why does your hands come up here? It's to block out the light. It's so you to enter into the triple darkness. And in that triple darkness, everything exists. It is in that triple darkness that God operates. It is the darkness of the mind, which is the womb, God's creation, God's playground. So prayer brings you into that state of triple darkness. And you pray to your higher power who is guiding you. You praying to the God within in that triple darkness. You don't even have to speak. You let your heart do the words. You let your mind do the talking. And you say something. Why did I feel anxious today? What was that? You go over your experience. Maybe something that you're going through, you want a deeper understanding. You go into that prayer. You go into the triple darkness. And then at the same time, you're in a state of meditation. Prayer
Mm.
puts you in a meditative state because you're focused not on the things around you. You're focused on the things that are in your mind, your third eye. Your third eye is activated. So you enter into that state. And then you get a knowing, a voice comes to you. Work on confidence. And then you come out of that meditative state with your answer. So
Mm.
prayer connects you with your higher power, puts you in that state of that triple darkness that God operates in. And that meditative state is how you receive that message. Now you have guidance, knowledge to build on that system. Now you go read a book about confidence, or you read a book about, or you watch some YouTube videos. Now you have some direction. That's why so many people are having poor mental health, because they have no direction. They see that this society is putting them down this system, and then they're getting these jobs, making this money, but still unfulfilled.
Mm.
Still have this void within, and they don't know how to fix it. And they're filling their lives, they're filling this void with sex, money, drugs, women. They're filling their lives with all these things that can't fill that void.
Mm.
It's because you're not doing the thing that God has called you to do. And they're losing their minds. And they think that their value is in material possessions, but that is not true. Your value is in your mind, your intellect, your ability to bring the things that is in your mind into this reality, to self-actualize. That is your value. So it is important that we pray, because in order for us to be guided the right way into this life that we're living in that is so sick, we need to have that spiritual guidance. So that's the power of prayer. And it's imperative that we teach it to our children. It's imperative that we teach it to others.
Wow. This sister is so divine. You're so divine. Like, I felt everything that you spoke about. And when you touched on the fact of the matter is, we're in this world that is driven by materialistic things.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the illusion.
Yes.
That is the illusion.
Yes.
Because once your time is up, none of
Mm-hmm.
it will even matter. None of that will even exist.
You can't
Well,
take your
really,
material possessions with you. You can't take it with you.
mm-hmm.
So understanding that spirit is the void that people are experiencing. They don't know what that spirit is that is within them, that is screaming to experience itself.
Go within.
Go within.
Go within.
Go into that triple
Woo!
darkness. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. Like, hey, some people still scared of the dark now. Gotta use a nightlight.
Some people need them night lights. Oh man.
Praise be to Allah. Shane, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today to discuss this well-needed
Yes, ma'am.
topic, Beyond the Illusion, Discover Truth in a World of Lies.
Yes.
I would also like to thank my audience and amazing healing tribe for joining us today. I pray that this episode was informative, valuable, and of course, healing to you all. Also, be sure to share, like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes on any of your favorite podcast station. CTG Broadcast on YouTube, and Healing with Angelica on Facebook and YouTube to help spread the light of healing to others in need. Please, please, please be sure to subscribe, y'all. Get my numbers up. I've been doing this thing for 2.5 years now. Come on, y'all need to share this light, share this message. Actually, I need y'all to go ahead, go to YouTube now and send this to everybody you know, or send it to people to your Facebook, because this message today was very, very well needed, and I believe that it will definitely shine a light and bring healing to it. So, also, can you guys still hear me?
Yes. We can hear you.
Nope. Can you guys still hear me? Can
Yes.
you hear me? Okay, just making sure. Had a little delay. Y'all know how technology. Also, if you all are ready to start your healing journey and don't know where to start, Healing with Angelica is here to assist. Get started on your healing journey today by texting the word ready to 937-313-2466. You guys can schedule your free discovery call, which will include solution-based and
Yeah.
provide you information for whatever it is that you may be struggling with to get you started on your healing journey. Also, be sure to join the Healing Tribe by purchasing some Healing Tribe merch today. And you can text TRIBE to 937-313-2466. We have so many different types of merch as well. And we also are getting ready for that fall time. So be sure to get your hoodies and sweaters and all that good stuff, right? Also, my new ebook, Thrive, is now available for purchase, you guys. Get your copy today. This is a guide for young Black women, any woman actually, to reconnect with self and God, which is so imperative more than ever, because at the end of the day, our women are our teachers. They are the first teachers, the first everything. So in order for us to see a healing in the world, it really starts with the woman, because the woman brings the children. The woman does it all, right? So be sure to get your copy today by texting the word Thrive to 937-313-2466. And also, this is just a little announcement. I just wanted to say that inshallah, if it be the will of Allah, and I would like to get you guys' feedback, and I might go ahead and post it on my social media platform. Healing with Angelica, inshallah, will be doing a single segment. So, inshallah, starting January of 2025, Healing with Angelica will be a single show, inshallah. Inshallah, I may still have my guests come on, but I think it's time that I let y'all in just a little bit on Healing with Angelica, right? Get y'all on a journey with me. So I'm looking forward to it. Please let me know what you guys' thoughts are on that as well. So Shana,
Yes.
before we end today's show, sis, do you have any closing remarks for our audience today?
Yes. If excuse me, if you are interested in discovering your passion, your purpose, and the truth of who you are, you can always find me, Divine Alignment. I am on YouTube, and I give instructional videos of how to find that pathway towards your higher self. So you can find me there, and I'll be there waiting with open arms.
Yes. I love it. Praise be to Allah. I did leave her information. It's scrolling down on the screen. It should get there soon, or go back to watch it to get her information. But please be sure to connect with my sister. She will definitely assist you on your journey. Again, sis, it was a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for joining me. It was so much fun. And thank you all, my Healing Tribe audience.
Thank you.
Love you all. And we leave you all as we came. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings, everyone.